I'm here today with my July TBR as well as the remainder of my July reading plans. And then be sure to stay tuned till the very end of this video because I have both a request for all of you and something I'd like to give to you. So make sure you watch till the very end. Hello book friends, I'm Jen and welcome to my reading life, and today I'm here to talk all about July reading. Okay, so I have a very short actual July TBR, which I'm going to share with you in just a moment, but I was thinking a lot about my reading plans for July, and in the past few years, July has sent me into a reading slump like nothing else the rest of the year has. And I have been trying to think of ways to circumvent having that same kind of reading slump this year. So one of the things I think I'm going to do is to relieve the pressure of any kind of requirements for my reading. Now, I do have a few things that I would like to get to. I have some buddy reads going on this month and a couple of other things, but outside of those books, I just want to read what I want to read. So I might share some of the books that I am thinking about reading, and this is a very loose pile of possibilities. I really just want to go to my bookshelves and pull what sounds good to me at any given moment and read that, because that's just what summer reading should feel like to me, like just reading what you love. And hopefully some of those books will fit into the summer book bingo challenge that's being hosted by Tiffany over at Beautiful Minutia. And hopefully some of them will also fit into Big Book Summer, hosted by Sue Jackson over on her channel and her blog. But I'm not going to give myself any kind of hard and fast, you must read these things. I just want to pick up what I'm in the mood for and just get swept away into a good story. So suffice it to say, all of that is me saying I'm just going to read what I want to read in July, outside of these few books that I'm going to share right now. The first of which is a buddy read that I am doing with Kate at No Compliments to Your Mother, and also our friend Elizabeth, who is over on Bookstagram, and that is The Growing Summer by Noel Streatfeild. And this is a middle grade book, and we are going to read a few chapters every day until we finish it. And it says summer will be different for the Gareth children this year. Their father, let me try that again. An epidemiologist is ill abroad and their mother must go to help him. So Alex, Penny, Naomi, and Robin are sent to Ireland to stay with an eccentric, distant relative. Great Aunt Dymphna is like nobody they've ever met. She lives in a ramshackle house, quotes swaths of poetry, and flits about like a great bat. And to the children's consternation, she exerts them to fend for themselves. Despite tears and many mishaps, they learn something new every day, and living with Great Aunt Dymphna becomes an unexpected adventure. Oh, well, that just sounds delightful, doesn't it? So this looks like a lovely, quick summer read. And then next is a reread for me, and I'm going to be reading Touch Not the Cat by Mary Stewart with the Mary Stewart Buddy Read group that I am a part of over on Bookstagram. And I haven't read Touch Not the Cat since I was probably like 19, so it has been 30 years since I've read this one. And this says Ashley Court, the tumble-down ancestral home of the Ashley family, all blessed with the gift of being able to speak to each other without words. When Bryony Ashley's father dies under mysterious circumstances, his final words a cryptic warning to her. Bryony returns from abroad to uncover Ashley Court's secrets. What did her father's message mean? What lies at the center of the overgrown maze in the gardens? And who is trying to prevent Bryony from discovering the truth? Yes. Very much looking forward to this one. From what I recall, this was one of my very favorite Mary Stewarts when I read it all those years ago. I am excited to revisit it again. And then next up, because July is of course Jane Austen July, I am going to be buddy reading a Jane Austen novel, again with my friend Elizabeth from Bookstagram. We love to buddy read together. She is a lovely, lovely buddy read partner. And This book looks super hefty, but it's not really. And that is The Annotated Emma by Jane Austen. I think we both have the same edition, and we were talking. She mentioned she was going to read The Annotated Emma, and I said, oh, I was planning to do the same thing. And so we're going to buddy read it. And I've only listened to Emma on audiobook, so I am really looking forward to diving into the print version of Emma. I think this is the only Jane Austen novel I haven't read in print. I've read everything else of her major novels. And so I'm looking forward to spending some more time with Emma. And then I might watch the 2020 adaptation of Emma because I have not watched that one yet. So I think when I finish this, I will finally get around to watching that one. And then next up is the book I have chosen to read off of my TBR 24 and 24 for July, and that is Gilgamesh by Joan London. And in this, it's 1937, and the modern world is waiting to erupt. On a farm in rural Australia, 17-year-old Edith lives with her mother and sister Frances. One afternoon, two men, her English cousin Leopold and his Armenian friend Aram, arrive, taking the long way home from an archaeological dig in Iraq. To captivate Edith with tales of a world far beyond the narrow horizon of her small town of, what is that, Nundarup? Nundarup. One such story is the epic of Gilgamesh, the ancient Mesopotamian king who traveled the world in search of eternal life. 2 years later, in 1939, Edith and her young son Jim set off on their own journey to Soviet Armenia, where they are trapped by the outbreak of war. Gilgamesh is a rich, sparse, and evocative novel of encounters and escapes, of friendship and love, of loss and acceptance, a debut novel that marks the emergence of a world-class talent. So, yes, I'm excited. I do enjoy reading books set in Australia, and Joan London is an Australian author, so I'm looking forward to diving into this one, and hopefully I'll have more success with this than I did with some of my other TBR 24 and 24 books recently. But actually my mom read that book and gave it to me, and she loved it, so I have high hopes for it. And then the last book that I am going to read in July for sure is Have His Carcase by Dorothy L. Sayers. This is the next novel in the Lord Peter Wimsey series. And I believe in this one, Harriet Vane, yes, she comes upon a body and on the beach, and she, I think, gets Lord Peter involved in it. So this is definitely one of the longer of the Lord Peter books, at least in the edition I have. It's well over, it's 448 pages, so this is the first really kind of chunky novel in the series, and I'm really looking forward to diving into it. And I love Harriet Vane, and she adds such a wonderful dimension to this series. So I'm sneaking back in here because I forgot to include the Cozy Reader Book Club selection for July. Just completely went out of my head because I don't have a copy of the book. I am going to borrow it from the library. And this month we are reading Firebird by Susanna Kearsley, and we will be meeting to discuss this on Saturday, July 20th. There's still plenty of time to join us, so if you are interested in the Cozy Reader Book Club, I will have the information in the description box below on how you can join, and we would love to have you with us. So that is the 6th book I will be reading for July. So when I said 5, I mean 6. I tell you, making these videos, it's a thing. Okay, now back to the show. Those are all the books that I am for sure, hopefully for sure, going to read in July. Then I did pull, and this is quite a big stack. Oh, let me grab it. I did pull a bunch of books. Try not to drop them. That I am going to consider, just loosely consider reading. So I'm just going to quickly go through these. I'm not going to spend a lot of time giving synopsis. I think a lot of these I have talked about on my channel already. And certainly I'll have links to all the books in the description box. So if you want to look up more details about them, feel free to do so. But the first book that I would like to get to is the second book in the Chadwick Chronicle. I'm going to talk about this book in my June wrap-up. Not this book, sorry. The first book in this series, which is Looking Forward. And this is book 2 in the Chadwick Family Chronicles. And spoiler alert, I adored book 1, and I'm really looking forward to continuing on with the series. So I'm thinking this one might go on vacation with me in July. We are going to Lake Tahoe for our family vacation this year, and it's a great place to get a lot of reading done while sitting on the beach by the lake. So this one might go with me for that. As might these next couple of books. Next, I have Volume 6 of the Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon by Beth Brower. You know, I love Emma M. Lyon, so I would love to get to the next book in the series in July. Same thing with the third book in the Mrs. Polifax series, The Elusive Mrs. Polifax. In fact, I'm thinking on my Tahoe vacation, I might just take a stack of these books with me and just plow through them, as many as I can get through in that week. And I think I have the first, yes, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have, this is book 3, and I have books 4, 5, 6, and 7 sitting here on my shelf. I may have just ordered book 8, so I should have plenty to keep me busy. And then since it is Jane Austen July, I'm not 100% sure I will get to anything aside from Emma, but I did pull 2 possible options. It's really funny because I always want to participate more in Jane Austen July, and then I'm just, for whatever reason, not really in the mood. I want it to be Jane Austen January. I feel like January is the perfect month to like just dive into classic novels and just immerse yourself in them. And I may have to just do my own little Jane Austen January this coming year. We'll have to see, because that's the time of year when I really feel like I want to read something like Austen. You know, often in July, I just want to read like light, frothy beach reads. But if I do feel on the mood for some Jane Austen, I have a collection of Lady Susan, Sanditon, and the Watsons, and I believe one of the like group reads for Jane Austen July is to read Sanditon and the Watsons. And so I could potentially dive into this. I mean, it is very, very slim. All of these are very short. I've read I have read Lady Susan, but I've not read Sanditon and the Watsons. So I may read those 2 from that collection. And then the next is sort of an Austen retelling, and that is Miss Austen by Gil Hornby. By Gil Hornby. And I've heard good things about this, and this is about Cassandra, Jane's sister, and I think this takes place after Jane dies, so it's just told from her sister's perspective. And yes, so I've heard great things about it, and maybe I'll give it a go if I'm in the mood. Next up are 2 middle grade books that I just think feel like summer to me, and the first is In the Year of the Boar and Jackie Robinson by Bet Bao Lord, and this is about a young Chinese girl who immigrates to the US with her family, and obviously it's about Jackie Robinson. I think she just becomes really interested in him and helps her kind of settle into American life or something like that. I'm gonna find out, but you know, what's more summery than baseball? And then the next one is Swallows and Amazons by Arthur Ransom. And, you know, this is just about young kids kind of having adventures and, you know, I think playing, you know, pirates and whatnot. So I've heard nothing but praise for this book, and I think it sounds like a great summer read. And then the next book is one that I think there's a category on the summer book bingo that's like a book you keep putting off, and this one definitely qualifies, and that is Tin Man by Sarah Winman. Sarah Winman wrote Still Life, which I also have on my shelf, but I have had this one on my shelf for much, much longer, and I would love to finally get to it. It feels very, like the cover to me looks really summery. Like it looks like water, and this guy doesn't have his shirt on, and you know, so anyway, I will maybe try to get to this one. And then next I have 2 Agatha Christie books. One is a reread, and the other one is probably partially a reread, I would assume. But the first is Evil Under the Sun by Agatha Christie, and you know, this is one of her books that I think takes place at the beach or the seaside and on vacation. So that always sounds very summery and, you know, sun, hot, summertime. So yes, I really want to get to this one either in July or August. And then I gave this to my mom for Mother's Day, and she finished it and she let me borrow it. And that is Midsummer Murders Midsummer Murders. That's a TV show, Jen. Midsummer Mysteries by Agatha Christie, and this is just a collection of short stories set in the summertime. And I'm sure I've read some of these, but I probably don't remember them. And, you know, summery short stories in the summertime sounds lovely. Plus, this book is so beautiful. I love this edition. And then another mystery I'd like to get to in July possibly is The Hunter by Tana French. And I've talked about this one before. This is the second in the Cal Hooper mystery series. And I believe it's set during a heat wave in Ireland. And that sounds very hot and summery. So I thought this might be a good month to pick this one up. And then the last two books are two which have been on my TBR shelves for so long, and I'm tempted to at least like maybe try a chapter of both of these and see if they are books I want to read, or maybe I will just pass them along if they don't draw me in. And the first is one of the books I got when I was a Book of the Month member, which I haven't been for quite a few years now, and that is Enchanted Islands by Allison Amend. And I just think this feels kind of summery, and I think I may do the try a chapter and see what I think of this one and if I want to continue on and read it this month. And then the other one is Summer Darlings by Brooke Leah Foster. Yes, this I think is about, oh yeah, it's set during the 1960s on Martha's Vineyard. It's about a young girl who's a nanny for a very wealthy family on Martha's Vineyard, and I'm a little bit worried it might be like rich people doing bad things, and that's not really a trope I'm interested in reading about anymore. I've read some of those books in the past, and they just fall a little flat for me because, you know, who cares? Sorry. If you're a rich person doing bad things out there, I apologize, but I just don't really want to read about that. So I might do the try a chapter of this. If anyone has read this or Enchanted Islands and can give me any insight into whether I might like these, please do share in the comments down below. But yeah, so that is just a very loose, very, very loose pile of possibilities other than the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books, I think. 5 books. So I have 5 books that I will hopefully for sure, I like to say hopefully for sure because, you know, you just never know. But I have the best of intentions of reading those 5 books I mentioned first, and then, you know, just pulled some books I thought sounded kind of good. But that's not to say that this shelf and the one across from me, which you've seen if you saw my reading room tour, that I won't just, you know, dip into those and also find some books. I do also have a few books checked out from the library, so I would like to get to those as well. And yeah, this is just going to be a very laid back July in terms of putting any pressure on myself to read anything specific, because I feel like that may have been my downfall in previous Julys over the past few years. So here's to not having a reading slump this July. Fingers crossed. Okay, now what you have all been waiting for, I know, with bated breath, since I mentioned at the top of this video that I have a request for you and something to give to you. But first off, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel since I started back in February. And I have just passed the 2,000 subscriber mark, and I can't believe it. It has happened much more quickly than I anticipated, and I'm so thankful to all of you for being here, for watching, commenting. I really just, starting this channel has been such a joy to me, and I am just having the best time making videos for you guys and coming up with new content and just kind of figuring my way into this new booktube world that I have joined. Since I have reached 2,000 followers, I had put up a post last week, the week before, right when I was getting really close to 2,000, and asked if you guys would be interested in a Q&A video. And many of you said yes, so that is what we're going to do. So I'm going to put together a Q&A video, and I need your questions. So whatever burning questions you have that you would like to ask me, and you can ask me about pretty much anything, though I would love to keep it to book, reading, that kind of thing related. So, but if you want to ask me something generally about my life, maybe I will answer some of those questions as well. But my channel is about my reading life, and I really do like to try to keep it focused on that. Submit your questions in the comments of this video, and you have until Sunday, July 7th to get in your questions. And I will get the Q&A video out either the second or third week of July. So put those questions here. And as a big thank you to all of you, I want to give a little something back. And as such, I am going to have a little giveaway. There are two ways to enter the giveaway. The first is to leave me a question in the comments here on this video that you want me to answer in my 2K Q&A video. So whatever your burning questions are, leave them in the comments of this video, and that will get you one entry into the giveaway. The second way to be entered into my giveaway is when the 2K Q&A video goes up, you can leave a comment on that video, and that will get you another entry into the giveaway. So you can get up to 2 entries into the giveaway. Please make sure you are subscribed to my channel. I will be checking that as well. So the winner needs to be subscribed. So yes, 2 chances to win. You must be a subscriber. That's all the parameters for the giveaway. I'm not going to share exactly what I'm giving away yet. I will share that in the 2K Q&A video, so that will be coming, so stay tuned for that. But I promise you, it's going to be something good, something bookish, and just a little something from me to you to say thank you so much for being here, for watching, for commenting. It has been so lovely to join this BookTube community, and I can't wait to see what the next 2K brings. Oh my gosh, if I got to 4K, that would be crazy. Anyway, thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. And it would be lovely if you could give this video a like and hit that subscribe button if you aren't already subscribed. And yeah, so leave those questions in the comments down below, and I'll be back with another video very soon. Bye.